What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron, and if you got anything you want me to check out, new, old, album, EP, single, whatever, leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and I'll make it happen for you. But for today's review, we're going to be checking out the new album, Echo, by the band of Mice and Men. Echo is their 7th studio album since 2009. I've always had a really hard time liking this band. I don't know, I think it's their new metal sound. That's got to be what it is. I'm not really into their new metal stuff that they've been doing over the past couple years. Like, I did a review on Earth and Sky. I really wanted to like it. In fact, I've really wanted to like almost all of their albums, but I can't do it. But recently, this past year, they've been releasing some new stuff that is more metalcore, and I've been all about that. They've been doing it just right. The vocals and songwriting, everything has been really, really good. But this album is kind of confusing to me. This album consists of 2 EPs that the band released. One of them in like February and the other one in like May or March. Somewhere in the middle of the year, they released another EP. The first one was called Timeless. The second one's called Bloom. And they just kind of combined them, I guess. And then they released 4 more songs to make this a full album. And I think that's what confuses me the most. Is I went into this thinking that we're getting a new album. I didn't do a review on Timeless, but I did a review on Bloom, and I was just, this is all the same stuff I've already done. The album opens up with the first song off of the first EP, Timeless. The first song is Timeless. It's about nobody living forever, but it's kind of a little bit more like the bright side of things. Is not quite as hopeless. It's kind of like, hey, we're not gonna live forever, so we might as well enjoy the time that we have. It comes in with a fantastic melody, and the riff and the vocals just put a smile on my face, especially going into the pre-chorus. But the chorus did feel a little weak, and I think that has a lot to do with the clean vocals just not really hitting as hard. But I gotta admit that the lyrics were pretty good. The lack of a bridge in the song and throughout some of these other songs is pretty noticeable, but the outro does help it a little bit. And then we have the second song, which is Obsolete, which is the second song off of Timeless. And this is about like the other side of things, where it's about like the anxiety and the dread of knowing that we're not going to live forever and the people around us aren't going to live forever. Has a really good buildup going into the verse, and the main riff is awesome. It works really well off of the lead melody. The chorus does sound a little bit better, has a little bit more power behind it, but the lyrics, I gotta admit, are kind of cliche. I guess you can't really have best of both worlds when it comes to a Mice and Men sometimes. I gotta admit that the breakdown is incredible. I loved how fast-paced it was. It hits really hard, and this song does have a bridge, and it has a great build-up. It ends up swelling in suspense going into the final chorus and the outro. Then we have the third song, Anchor, which marks the end of the first EP. It's about being influenced by other people and their narrative. Kind of like, if you don't know what you stand for and who you are, other people's stuff and opinions and things might bring you down and give you anxiety and depression and just pull you all kinds of different ways. The song starts out with a very eerie melody that sets the tone for the song. There's a lot of vocal isolation, and it sounds decent, but I feel like the synth just adds a little bit too much, especially when it goes in the pre-chorus where there's a little bit more. And the vocals in the chorus are super strong. They have a great hook to them. The second pre-chorus sounds really good, as now we get some distorted guitar and a little bit more drum stuff, and the vocals don't have so much effect on them, and they come through a lot more powerful. It sounds really good. I just wish that they didn't have such a strong effect on the vocals, even though I kind of see what they were trying to do with the kind of night and day kind of shift, making the vocals hit harder when they pull the veil off of it with the effect, but it still is a little bit too much for me in the beginning. This is probably my least favorite of the 3 songs off of the Timeless EP that's on this album. And now the next 3 songs comes off of their Bloom EP, which I already did a review on. I wasn't really aware that it was going to be part of the album. Otherwise, I would have waited. But that it just adds to more of my confusion. But I'll still run through them again real quick. The first one is Levy. It's got a creepy intro with an awesome riff to it. The verse is basically just bare bones of the intro. The chorus has the intro riff thrown back into it with a main focus on the clean vocals. The lyrics are okay, and the breakdown is it's basic. It's very generic sounding breakdown. But the scream that comes in sounds fantastic, helps out a lot. Then we have the song Bloom, which is probably my favorite one off of the EP and probably off of this album. It has like this shoegaze kind of intro thing going on with a thick bass tone. The song just flows so well, and the chorus has distorted vocals in it instead of the cleans. It's nice to kind of switch it up, especially when everything's really clean and glassy sounding in the intro. All the transitions in the music in this song it's where it's at. All the little stuff going from like the verse to the chorus, all the stuff in between sounds really great. I gotta admit though, the breakdown does leave you wanting. It's not really as heavy hitting as I expected it to be. And I feel like this song is about making the most out of life. Like we're all, like the first 3 songs off of the Timeless EP were all about our time here is short, make the most of it. And also our time here is short. Like, oh my God, that sucks. And also like kind of know who you are and what you stand for. Bloom is kind of like we're all meant to bloom and become our own person and be successful in our own ways. We're all meant to become something. Then we have the next song, Pulling Teeth, which is the last song off of the Bloom EP. Has a really cool guitar part to it. The verses are very drum focused. It feels like just a generic metalcore song. The chorus has a decent hook to it though, and the clean vocals sound really good. It's just a super radio friendly song. The bridge has tons and tons of triplets in it that sound really good, but it's just basic metalcore at this point. Now the next 4 songs were added onto these EPs to make it into a complete album. The first one is Mosaic. It has a really just sick buildup going into the verse. The distorted vocals sound great, and I love how it just carries all the way through the chorus. Has a really good melody to it as well. The simple riff in the song, I feel like just carries the entire song on its shoulders. There's a flanger effect in verse 2 that adds tons of depth to it, and then the pre-chorus thing that happens before going into the second chorus is phenomenal. It's probably one of my favorite parts on this album. It's just so dynamic, and the outro is nice and heavy, just isn't long enough, but you know, that's the way it goes. Then we have the next song, Fighting Gravity, which I also did a review on, and I did not really care for this song. It just, yeah, I'm just not really feeling it. It's a super generic song about letting go, and it has really great metaphors about trying to control everything. It's not a bad sounding song. This is just as generic and basic, and it's just standard metalcore. There's nothing unique about it. It doesn't bring anything to the table. It doesn't go into depth emotionally or musically. It's not creative whatsoever. This one, I felt like it's where the band falls flat in this metalcore genre switch up thing that they're doing. Next we have Echo, the title track song on the album, even though it consists of 2 EPs that each have their own title track song. I don't know. So this song is actually one of my favorites as well. It has this robotic synth bell thing happening in the intro, and it sounds so freaking epic when the guitars and the drums come in. The vocals are a little weird in the verses until the growls and the distorted vocals come in really powerful. The chorus sounds really great with some solid cleans and really good drum work as well. The interlude spoken word thing that happens before the choruses is a really nice touch. Makes the song very unique. Stands out a lot from all the other songs. And the outro is very heavy as well with some really good vocals. It's really interesting to see a song like Fighting Gravity, which is just radio friendly. It's just a throwaway song in between 2 heavy hitters like Mosaic and Echo. It really shows you what a Mice and Men can really do when they start being creative and thinking outside the box, and they don't really care to get as many listeners as they possibly can. They just want to make music that just is in their hearts and their souls. I feel like this is what they can do, and it's not that bad. And if they continue with songs like Mosaic and Echo, they'll just keep killing it. In fact, I feel like this whole album will be better without the song Fighting Gravity, as with the closing track, Helplessly Hoping, which is a Crosby, Stills, and Nash cover. It's very random. It feels so out of place. It's heavily auto-tuned. It's very melancholy, as with this whole album is, and I guess the original is as well. It's not original sounding. Like, they didn't take the Crosby, Stills, and Nash song and make it their own. They just made a song that Crosby, Stills, and Nash probably would have made using autotune and all the modern stuff that we have if they made it today. So it just doesn't sound anything like of Mice and Men. It's another kind of throwaway song. It fits the overall tone of this album, so it's kind of a good closer, but at the same time, it just doesn't really add anything to it whatsoever. Some of the songs on here are just metalcore bangers that really shows what Mice and Men can do when they flex their creative muscles. And the vocals sound great, even though the effects kind of hurt a little bit. It's only sometimes, it isn't even really that big of a deal. And also the message that these guys are bringing of life being short, and try to enjoy it while you can, while also recognizing that, yeah, it is kind of dreadful and sad at times, but we're all meant to bloom in our own way, is a really strong, powerful message. But some of the radio-friendly stuff on here can be overpowering at times as well. And I really wanted to love this album. In fact, I do enjoy most of the songs on here. It's just this isn't a new album. That's the only problem with this. And that's what hurts it so much. We have 2 EPs, and then we have 3 more original songs, and then a cover that isn't even really good. And 3 of the new songs, only 2 of those are good, and one of them is the worst song on this album. Well, I mean, you could have just made another 3-song EP and it would have been pretty sick, but instead you combined all this. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. People are going to see this, they're going to see that they've already heard all these songs, they're going to listen to the last 3, decide they like one, and they're going to skip over the cover song because it's just not done very well whatsoever. And that's basically my only issue with this EP. That's what hurts, or with this album, is it hurts it so much that we've already heard these songs. There's nothing new here. There's nothing different. There's nothing to get excited about. And if you are excited, you're probably feeling kind of sad because you're like, I've heard 60% of these songs already. The last song is a cover song, and the new 3 songs, they just don't really hold up all that well. So with all that said, I got to give Echo by Mice and Men a 5.8 out of 10. I know a lot of you guys are going to think I'm being really harsh with this rating, because I kind of am, because the music in this isn't really bad, but that's not why it's getting such a bad rating. The reason why is because this isn't a new album, this isn't new music, and because of that, it doesn't bring anything new to the table. It's very lazy. It's almost like a ripoff to fans who are wanting new stuff, but instead they just threw 6 songs that they already had together, threw on a really bad take of a cover song, and then gave us 2 decent, like pretty good songs, and then 1 bad song. So basically out of this whole album, we just get 2 more good songs. That's pretty much it. 2 more songs that are worth listening to. And if you bought the vinyls for the first 2 EPs, you're probably not going to buy the vinyl for this. In fact, you probably won't even listen to any of the songs on this album. You'll probably just go and listen to the last 4 and decide you'll probably never listen to them again. And that's what hurts this album the most. Is it just doesn't, it's very confusing to me. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why Mice and Men did this. I have a feeling it's more of a label thing, but I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Echo or Bloom or Timeless, I guess. Let me know what your favorite song is and what you would rate it. And if you guys enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like. Leave a comment below letting me know what I should review next. If you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff helps me out a lot. Even if you hated this review and you leave a thumbs down and you leave a comment telling me that you hate me, that's fine too. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch me talk about music, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time. I was trying to make it lying